There is nobody.
Yes. Welcome everyone for this press point with EP Coordinator for Brexit Steering Group, Guy Verhofstadt, and we will have the opportunity to take some questions after.
Yeah, very short. This was a meeting that we organized after my visit to the Prime Minister in London last month, and we agreed that there should be a direct meeting between the Home Office, who is responsible for the future procedure for the EU citizens living in Britain. We want to continue to live in that country, and this meeting with the Home Office happened today in the presence of the 5 committees involved in the European Parliament and a number of MEPs who are specialized in this. I have to tell you that the main reason for this meeting was to get all the information from the Home Office. Certainly after the Windrush scandal, there was a lot, and there is still a lot of anxiety under our EU citizens living in Britain, that the same experience, that they could have the same experience in their future. So for us it's important that the system that will apply after the withdrawal is a smooth system. We want it cost-free. That is still a point of discussion. We want also a system that is not only applicable for most of these EU citizens, but also for the vulnerable people, or many people who are maybe not capable to use these digital devices to apply for this settled status, and we need also a special regime for them. We are also of the opinion that it is necessary to have one file for every family. That is not necessary that every individual EU citizen is applying for that status. And so we agreed at the end of the meeting that from all sides, from the side of the European Parliament, a number of question marks, requests, recommendations will be sent by us to the UK authorities, so to be sure that when the system will be put in place by the end of 2018, it will be an easy system, a system that gives also the possibility to directly register that status for the EU citizens. And as we also indicated already many times in the resolution of the Parliament, we are working also from our side very hard towards our member states to have an easy system also for the UK nationals living on the continent, and that they have a status that will apply in all 27 member states, so that when a UK national living in one country of the European Union has for example, a residence permit, that it is also a permit that is applicable in all 27 member states, so that there is no need to eternally ask for new permits. So that's mainly the outcome. It's, and we agreed also to have follow-up meetings in the coming months before the system will be put in place.
Thank you. We had a first question from Alistair from Reuters.
Mr. Verhofstadt, you talked about the Windrush experience and the long period in which there was question marks over people's status. We've heard about the ECJ having a role in Britain for a further 8 years only. Is this now the time you think, and was that part of the questioning to extend the ECJ's role?
That was not part of the discussion, because we are working inside the agreement that has been made, and it's clear that this 8 years is already an enormous guarantee, because it's 8 years starting from scratch, I should say. That means that when there is a complaint, that complaint can be entered, and only afterwards start the 8 years. So the complaints are the important point here. So if within 8 years there is a complaint of an individual EU citizen that is still under ECJ rule, even when the ECJ ruling come only, for example, 12 years after the complaint, or 14 years after. So it's longer than 8 years. That is my main point. It's 8 years counting from the date of the complaint.
A second question, yes?
Yeah, it's Gail van Herk for Channel 4 News. How convinced are you by this app that the Home Office have been talking about, that it would have, for example, the capacity to deal with potentially millions of applications? And on Windrush, to what extent do you feel that that has damaged trust? And was the Home Office able to reassure you on behalf of EU citizens?
Yeah, but we didn't have this hearing on Windrush. There are other places to discuss it. So we have mainly concentrated ourselves on the fact that this has created additional anxiety under the EU citizens, and that we have to get the new system right from day one. And that's the reason why we are saying, look, one application or registration per family has to be sufficient. That has to be possible. Secondly, we are also looking that it becomes a real system of registration rather than application. That means that if people fill in all the data that are necessary, that from that moment on there is this status, and it is not necessary to wait for weeks and months, not to say years, before the Home Office is agreeing with this. And we are looking naturally also for a cost-free, because it is not it's not the fault of the EU citizens that they have to ask for a new status. It's because of Brexit. If there was not a Brexit, there should not be a special status for the EU citizens in the future. And there was no reason to apply for such a status. So there are other points naturally. Vulnerable people who are not capable to use these devices. How we will work with them, how we will proceed with them. So there are a number of issues that have been raised here with the Home Office, and our intention is to send now a letter to the UK authorities and to the both negotiators, raising these different questions, these different recommendations we have. Still fundamental remarks we have before the whole system is put in place by the end of the year. Okay.
So, yeah, there was a third last question, if you allow. Bruno Waterfield, if you can go to the microphone. Thank you.
Take the micro, yes.
Bruno Waterfield, The Times. The safeguard in the withdrawal agreement is the independent authority, the independent monitoring authority. What is your understanding of what that authority will be, how it will be constituted, and how it will work as a safeguard? Because it seems to be a very significant part of the agreement.
That will be an important remark in our letter that we will send. We want to know how it will work. This independent body, independent authority, so that it can be seen as a real protection for the EU citizens. What guarantees, what the composition will be. This will be also, that is a concern that has been raised several times this morning, and will be also raised in the letter. We want assurance about that, and we want to know how it will work in practice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.